Hello and welcome to the Coloring Collective. Today we're going to color a Christmas page, this sleigh with all these gifts. Let's go ahead and gather up our supplies. We are coloring today from Johanna's Christmas, from Johanna Basford, one of her coloring books. I like to use the Castle Arts colored pencils, and I have a set of 120. It's also nice to have a pencil sharpener handy. And sometimes if you make any mistakes, it's good to have a little eraser. Castle Green 058. I'm going to start right in the middle with these Christmas trees on this wrapping paper. And I'm just going to color in half of the tree. And the other half I think I'll do in a different shade of green. And I guess it doesn't really matter which half you use since they're all kind of pointing in every different direction. And one more over here. Oh, there's a couple actually. Let's get these. Leaf green middle 060. I'm going to use this to color in the other half of these trees, just to give it some fun dimension. Yellow ochre light 010. Pick a nice light brown for the trunk here. I don't want anything too dark. It is wrapping paper after all. Primary blue 098. I want to pick a good neutral background that's not too much red or green, because I have a feeling I'm going to be using a lot of red and green on this page. So I thought something like blue might be fun. Now I'm not pressing too hard because the primary blue is a pretty dark color. So I'm just pressing about medium so that I can have some nice coverage. And you can always go back and make it darker if you want. But I think for this, it'll be nice with the green trees. And it looks like we'll color this holly also green. We'll do a different shade of green though, so it doesn't compete with the Christmas trees. It's good to have your pencil pretty sharp to get in all these little corners here. Sometimes when I'm coloring a big space like this, I just remembered that I like to go around and get the border so I don't accidentally get into coloring mode and accidentally color a section that I don't want to. So like if you notice, here's the whole border of the present. Oh, look at here. And that way it's all in the blue color. So all I have to really do is stay within this blue border that I made, because there's lots of little pieces and nooks and crannies that you want to get into. And you just get into your little coloring zen mode. And before you know it, you've accidentally gone over the lines. Spice Red 025. It's a good color for these holly berries. Going right here. Little circular motion. Perfect. Sap Green 113. I'm going to come in and just do half of the holly leaf here with this color. You want to color it in pretty solid. And we'll do all 3 of them like this. Just half. Cadmium Green Pale 112. I'm going to finish up the other half of the holly leaves here. Lemon Yellow Light 001. Here we have a tag, a gift tag on this box. So I'm just going to color in the inside part. Oh, should have got that with the eraser. Cornflower Blue 092. I'm going to color this bow here, pretty purple color. Lavender 036. Finish up the bow. Nice and dark, and then gets lighter near the edges. I think that came out pretty good. Be sure to blend it pretty nice. Rose Pink 034. It's a nice fun color. There we go. Just do the top half, and then we'll do the bottom in a different color pink. Cherry Pink 032. And blend this nicely with the other pink. Make sure you're getting all of the spots, and I'm pushing kind of dark. Cadmium Yellow Deep 075. We're going to color in these stars, but I'm just going to go around the edges, and I think I'll color the very center a little bit lighter. So make sure your pencil is pretty sharp for this. Might not have much of a center. There we go. Cadmium yellow light 004. So I'm going to color this in and blend what I have. This looks much better on the bigger stars, but you get the idea. Delft Blue 041. I think since they're stars, we'll maybe color this in as if it was a night sky. And get a nice dark blue color. And I'm just going to carefully go around all of these edges here, the border of the box. Oh, it looks like I missed a star here. I'll have to pull out the yellow and redo that. So very carefully, we're just going to fill in all this space. Take your time. Scarlet Red 022. I think I will go ahead and color in this box here in the middle. I'm just going down the center where these little stars are. I think I'll do the edges as a different color. Go back and make sure it's colored in pretty solid. Alizarin Crimson 087. I think this should be a pretty good complement color to the red. I might need to sharpen this pencil a little. It's good. Make sure I'm really careful to stay in the lines here. And I just want it a little along the edge. Get this little top corner. I think I'll make the stripes in between green color. Keep it festive for Christmas. Gotta be real careful to stay in the lines here. Juniper Green 056. This is a good match for this red. We'll go ahead and color in these little strips of wrapping paper. Make sure you got it pretty solid and you're pushing down with the pencil. And actually, I'm going to keep the juniper green and come in here along this spiral. And just sort of color this line. And same with this one. We'll go around and do the whole box. These kind of remind me of vines or some sort of swirl, so I want to go around the outside of them. And then I think I'll do a lighter green for the inside. Well, for the rest of the box here. And then do a little bit of a light for the blending. Now I'm just pushing really, really light here. Okay, now we can go back to pressing down pretty hard. And the last one here, just get this done. Leaf green middle 060. It's a pretty good color to complement this dark green. So we'll just come in, maybe I'll do a little bit of a spiral motion so it blends really nicely with the other greens. And actually, by coloring over it, you see it actually makes the other color appear darker. Funny, that does happen sometimes with some pencils. Just about done with this one, and we will move on to another box. Jade Green 106. I think I'm going to take a break from some of the red and green color and make this box like a turquoise aqua color. So we'll come in here just along the bottom, just about halfway up, and then we'll pick a different color for the top. Actually, we'll come all the way up and fill this whole box in. Warm Gray Light 120. You know, since this turquoise looked a little like a jewelry box, I thought I would make the bow white. There we go. Just do a little light gray where the shadow would be. And we'll keep the rest of the bow just a plain white color. There we go, looks good. Brilliant Yellow 009. I don't really want to have anything that conflicts with the blue and the turquoise boxes next to this, so I want to go a little opposite on the color wheel, and opposite of blue on the color wheel is orange. So I think I'll do something yellow and orange for this box that's sitting behind it. So just real carefully going through these stripes. Orange Lake 016. I'm going to color along these dotted lines here. And then a little bit lighter, I'll color around the outside because I'll blend this with a lighter orange. So pressing pretty dark here, and then a little bit lighter right next to it. And then just a bit lighter. Here we'll come all the way down. And this last little one is a little thinner. Marigold 078. And I'll go right here next to the orange and blend that very nicely. There, and now you can see how the other boxes really stand out. And you want to be sure to blend the orange pretty nicely. This last little row is very thin. Be careful not to color over your yellow. magenta 086. We'll go ahead and color in this little box up here. And we'll color those ribbons a different color. So we'll do the paper here. And then it looks like it's got a tag on there, so we'll have to color the tag a color. Pick a gray or something. Aubergine 028. Let's go ahead and color in this ribbon. This is a nice deep purple color. And I'm going to color in the whole ribbon. Careful to stay in the lines here. Davies Gray 067. I'm going to carefully color in this luggage tag, gift tag. Prussian Green 055. I'm going to go ahead and color in these leaves here. And you know what, they're pretty small, so I think I'll just keep them one solid color instead of trying to shade them with something light or dark. And just go little by little. Take your time. There's no big hurry. I'm not quite sure what color I'll do for the background of this. I feel like I already have a box that's all green, so maybe I'll do some red to go with the leaves. Scarlet Red 022. I'm just going to color this in, not pressing too hard. Get a nice even tone. Maybe I'll go back and do the green for these little dots that are in here. Go ahead and get the red all the way around. Yeah, I'm not pressing too hard. I just want it to kind of cover the page sometimes if you press too hard, you end up getting a different color, or you can really actually see all of the pencil strokes, and you don't always want that. You just want it to be kind of filled in, real solid and real gentle. So just take your time using really small little pencil strokes. There's another little circle. I'll have to color that in with the green. And we'll grab that when we're done with the red here. And one more little one over here. Make sure you go around it. Bengal Rose 084. I'm going to come here to this one and do these swirls, and then just kind of color real lightly around them. So I'm pressing pretty hard along the line, and then I've got pretty light like this just around the edges, so I can blend it with another color. So press pretty hard here and follow this curve around, and then you can press really light. Press here. And then press pretty light around the outside. There we go. Just a little swirl motion. Doesn't have to be anything too big. And since there's not really any specific lines, it doesn't really matter if you go out of the way a little bit. And there's a big bow on here. I think I'll make the bow a fun color, maybe turquoise or something. Maybe a bright orange. Careful not to accidentally color the bow. And just get in here on this little spiral stuff. And the last little part here. Magenta 086. I'm going to come in here. Since this is a lot darker than the pink, I'm going to start out real light and then eventually add on a little more color once I reach the level that I like here. So just go back and forth a little bit. Follow this spiral and swirl design. And you want to be careful not to color over the pink you just did. but to color next to it really carefully. So just color along in this white space that you already have here. And then maybe in the very center you can press a little harder. So again, we'll start out real light right here in this little space. Fill it all in. And then following the spiral, I'll get a little darker. There we go, just a little like that. Here's another one, so we'll go in here real light. Careful to not color over the pink. And then come in a little darker, just like that. There we go, and get right up next to there. We'll get right up next to this bow. Push a little harder here since there's not really any of the swirls. And just follow along this same curvature. And here we get to another one and do the same thing. So just make your way around the little gift box real carefully. And there we go. Little by little. Follow this curve here. There we go. And this one around there. And then right up to the box edge. And then here we got another curve. And then we'll come in, press a little bit harder. Just in the center, there we go. Make sure you keep your pencil pretty sharp, but not too sharp because you don't want to break the pencil tip. But if that happens, that's okay. Just resharpen your pencil and start over. Okay, we got another swirl here. And just keep following the same pattern that we've been doing. Start out real light and then get a little darker as you go around. These little corners are really small. Be careful not to go over. And just get around this little bow here. There we go. Cadmium Yellow Deep 075. I'm going to come in here and do this bow in a nice bright yellow color. So I'll start with a darker yellow and just get under here, get this bow. I'm just going in like a zigzag direction the way these lines are already kind of there. And then maybe get this bottom part with the dark color. Come about halfway up like that. Lemon Yellow 005. And we'll just finish up the bow with this bright yellow. And get the very center. And then along these edges here, blending with the color that we put in already. Cerulean Blue Light 047. Go ahead and color this box up here. I think I'll make the top a light blue and then of course do the bottom half a little darker. Get in a little small there and then get really light so I can blend it with the other color that I'm going to do. You want it to gradually get a little darker as you head up to the top. I mean pressing harder, not necessarily darker in pigment, because once the whole box is done you'll see that the top will be lighter. But you want to press harder with the pencil so that this specific shade of blue gets darker and more intense. Now I just realized these ribbons are kind of thin, so I wonder if this little section in the middle right here is blue or if it's part of the ribbon. I think I'll just make it blue, since these ribbons look like they're about the same size all the way down. So let's do the same thing where you get a little lighter halfway. Alright, so I'll do the same thing. Get light about halfway down. And then pressing a little bit harder with the pencil as you move your way up. Ultramarine Light 044. This is a nice dark blue that looks good with the other blue that we used. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the box here, pressing pretty hard with the pencil. And I'm kind of continuing this up and down motion with the pencil that I've sort of started at the top. Get these nice crisp edge. And then I'll press a little lighter to start blending. With this blue up here. Real careful along these lines. Make sure your pencil's pretty sharp. And then once you've reached the point where you're not really blending anymore, just color this in solid, pressing with the pencil. And then up here, press a little lighter. Careful not to accidentally color in the ribbon. There we go, just a nice blend. So it looks really shaded. We'll do the same thing in this little piece. Start by pressing pretty hard with the pencil. And then as you work your way up, get a little lighter, blending with the other blue. And one of the things to keep in mind is that you can always go back and darken something, but it's not very easy. Sometimes you need to erase. If you want to make it lighter, it never really comes out the same. So my default is to always start a little bit light with the pencil and then press harder and harder as you go. Mint Green 107. Let's do something a little different with this bow. Keep it in the blue family. And we've got the cool tones happening. We've got the pink and the yellow is the warm, and then blue and green are cool tones. So I'm just coloring in this big bow up here along the base of these big poofy parts. And then I'll do a different color for the outside. Pick a bright green. And then let's come out here real carefully and color this outside piece. Make sure your pencil's pretty sharp. I'm about halfway up. And same with this last one. This gets really small over here. Just be careful and take your time. Leaf green 111. I think this will make a pretty good color combination with these others here. Yeah, looks pretty good. We'll come down this little string. Get all of these. Red ochre 015. I think this is a pretty good color to use for this top box up here. Make it red and green. And I'm just coloring in the darker parts of the ribbon here. Actually, you know what? It's a little small. Maybe I'll just color the whole thing. This is pretty tiny. So just be careful not to go out of the lines. We'll come over here behind this bow. And then I think I'll pick a green. Castle green 058. Get in here behind this bow. Perfect. Try to stay in the line so it doesn't bleed into the red there. Gotta really take your time with all these little tiny spots. This is like the perfect Christmas combination. Burnt ochre 014. I'm going to use this for all these little polka dots right here. And then I think I'll pick a nice light yellow or gold color for the rest of the wrapping paper. Be really careful. Make sure your pencil's pretty sharp. These are some very little circles. Cadmium orange deep 079. I'm going to go around these circles pretty light Just real carefully here. I'm not pressing too hard with the pencil. I think it'll have a fun effect once I do a lighter yellow color. Careful not to get the ribbon here. Get right here. Get these couple of polka dots there. Oops, I missed one here. Get this one over here, and then this little one in the corner. I've got cadmium yellow deep 075. Now I'm going to use this to color in all the rest of the box here. Actually, it looks like a big round gift. And we'll carefully go all the way around, blending it with the color we just did. So we'll go in circles around the polka dots here. And just really carefully blending it. And I'm pushing pretty hard with the pencil because I really want this yellow to show up and blend pretty well with the orange. So don't be afraid to push pretty hard, but just be careful to stay in the lines and keep using small pencil strokes because you don't want to get too wild and then accidentally color outside of the lines or color into something else. So be really deliberate around all these little circles and polka dots. Oh, wait, right here. Yeah, that looks like it's part of the yellow. There we go. For a second I thought maybe it was the ribbon, but it's not. Now to decide which color to color in the ribbon. Jaipur Pink 031. We'll use this to color in the ribbon here. And I'm just going a little bit opposite underneath here and then follow along these lines. Just do like a little zigzag. And then we'll get one more here underneath. Ooh, and that little tiny sliver piece. There we go. Nothing too much. And then a little bit lighter so we can blend a light pink. Azalea Pink 082. We'll use this along here. Oh, and I just realized I only did the bow and not the whole ribbon, so we'll have to come back with the other pink. when we're done here. So real carefully blend this with the other pink. And I'll do this here. And then just this outside. We'll come back with that other dark pink and do the rest of the ribbon. And just coming down about halfway. Right about here. Back with the Jaipur Pink 031. We'll get just this little part. Perfect. And then blend it out with the other pink. And I'm pushing pretty hard so that it really blends. Same with out here. Purple Lake Deep 038. Let's get this bow up here colored in nice and dark. Maybe just this top part. So there's a little bit of a separation. And then get back here, do the ribbon around the box, just like we did with the pink. And then come down about halfway. Let's say maybe about here. Really careful in all these spots. You know what? I think I'll use this also for the polka dots. It's a nice nice complement to the orange and the pink on either side. This purple is a nice cool tone, and purple and yellow are opposite on the color wheel. So all these little polka dots I'll fill in with this nice dark purple. Come over here and get these. Missed a little, there we go. Careful to stay in the lines. Lavender 036. I'm going to use this for the ribbon. It's a nice complement to the other color. And I'm pushing pretty hard because I want it to blend and really show up against the other ribbon color. And be careful to go in the direction of the ribbon like that until you get to the edge, like here. There we go. And blend it nicely with this darker color. Mauve 093. I'm going to go ahead and use this to color in the whole background of this box. This is a nice light purple color, but it doesn't lean toward a warm purple, it leans towards the cool purples. So it's more towards the blue end of the color wheel than the red, because blue and red, when you mix them together, that's what makes the purple. And so these three colors go pretty well together because they're all on the cooler end of the purple on the color wheel. I'm just getting in all these little pieces. I'm not pressing too hard, just about a medium to get it all covered. And because the polka dots are pretty dark, it doesn't really matter if my pencil strokes kind of go over them because you can't really see them. But if this was the other way around, you would definitely be able to know. Naples Yellow Light 073. I'm going to color in this gift tag here. Just real faintly. Almost looks white, but it's just a slight yellow. I'm going to keep the Naples yellow and color in this one also. And just get around this little bow area and color in the whole gift tag. Cadmium Red 024. I think since this box is next to the blue and the green, I'm going to do something red so it can stand out. And just do different shades of reds and oranges. So I'll color in all these little dots here. And maybe I'll color in part of the bow also. We'll go ahead and come around here and just do half of these little teardrop shapes. Perfect. Magenta 086. I'm going to come in here and just color in the bottom half of this box so it looks like it's behind these other boxes. Just come about halfway up, real light with the pencil. Careful around the bow. And then about right here, I'll stop. And then the top half of the box will make a different color. So just be real careful to get around this other bow here. Make sure your pencil's pretty sharp for these little corners down here. There we go. And you want to try pretty hard not to see the pencil strokes if you can help it. So use a nice even pressure as you're coloring. It almost helps if your pencil actually isn't too sharp, because then it's more of a blurry type of an effect. There we go. Come up here. And And then I'm going to use this on the other part of the teardrop here. Coloring this little bow nice. Getting all these spots. Venetian Red 021. Now I'm going to use this on this other part of the box here, just this top half. Oh, looks like I missed a little circle. We'll have to come back and get that afterwards. There we go, like a little two-tone gift wrap here. The bottom half is a little purpley and the top half is a little orange. So we'll just blend it together right here where the two colors meet. Again, pushing about the same with the pencil, so it's not too dark and not too light. We'll come all the way around the box. Just color right over the previous red since it's colored in so solid. Doesn't seem like it'll cause any problems. And be really careful around this bow. To pick another color to come in and do that. Alright, so not pushing too hard. There we go, well done. Alizarin Crimson 087. This will be a nice color to come in here and just get the rest of this bow around this border. We'll go all the way around, pressing pretty hard with the pencil so that it really shows up against the other colors. Actually, I think I want to keep this color and maybe do something like this. Let's see. Oh yeah, I like that. Just going over these lines, really make them stand out. And do the same thing all the way around the box. Pushing pretty hard with the pencil. Really want them to stand out. Prussian Green 055. Got another box back here that I think I want to make red and green. I'm picking a darker green because I want it to stand out against this other green. So I'm just going to do these little stripes and polka dots. Be real careful along the edges here. Keep your pencil pretty sharp. This little stripe is tiny. There we go. And the last row of green. Venetian Red 021. And we'll come in right here with these green polka dots really carefully and just color around. Be careful not to blend in with the green accidentally. And we'll come down here to the next stripe with the polka dots, and we'll pick a different red for this stripe that's in between them. Really careful. Scarlet Red 022. We'll just come in right here and color in this other stripe. I'm pressing pretty hard with the pencil so that it looks nice and solid. And the last one on this box. Peach 018. I'm going to use this color to color the underbelly of the little robin here. Cool Gray Deep 066. Make sure your pencil's really sharp for this one. If you notice, these little robins are all spread out throughout the book. It's something she's got hidden. And if you want, you can keep track of them all. And I'm pushing kind of hard with this because the face I'm going to do really light. So just do a really light little swirl. Nothing too dark. And you want the body to be pretty dark. Here we go. And that about wraps up part 1. Let's take a look at all the hard work we did. And this is just part 1. I'm going to come back and do the rest down here in another video. So today we just did the gifts, some of the gifts. We still have a couple more. Thanks for coloring along with me, and I will see you next time.